Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. This past Monday, I uploaded a video talking about my experiences with Starsiege Deadzone, and to make a long story short, I basically said I could not recommend the game due to a large list of issues I deemed capable of hindering my experience. As fate would have it, Prophecy Games launched a hotfix for the game which cleared up a couple of the complaints I had, and I also want to discuss some of the comments I got on my last video as well. But before we get into it, and if it ain't too much to ask, like and sub for more content like this. I'm also doing my first ever giveaway with the channel, and if we can hit 10 members on the channel by the end of August, one of you will win this Sick as Tits t-shirt. We have 7 members right now and it's only for the first 10. Okay, let's get into it. To start off this video, I want to read off some of the key patch notes that came up as complaints in my video. Even if I forgot to mention some of the issues that were fixed, I want to read these off because this proves to me that the devs care about this project. First things first, let's talk about the changes made to matchmaking. Quote, adjusted matchmaking rules so that players are restricted to matches in their level range. This will ensure that high-level players with high-level weapons and armor will not fight against much lower-level players. It will also ensure that players will find the right level of loot for their level. Thank Christ for this. The only problem with this is the player base is not big enough to really exercise this mechanic to its fullest potential. Of course, that's not the devs' fault, that's just something that will iron out over time when more players discover the game, and I hope it happens. Next order of business. Quote, added a feature that scales base health and shield up to the minimums for security level in a scenario where low and high level players are partied. This will allow higher level players to bring low level players and give them a chance to compete. I guess people making videos about the issues with this game did some good. Imagine that. Also, props to the devs for making this addition as well because it directly correlates with the first patch note I read. But like previously mentioned, we probably won't see the full utilization of this mechanic until more players join the game, but regardless, good shit, guys. Let's move on to the weapons and weapon balancing. One of the biggest complaints I had was the sponginess of the weapons and the bullet trailing mechanic. According to some of the comments, this was done on purpose for weapon balancing reasons, and even though I don't doubt that, I still absolutely despise that mechanic. Regardless, the updates for weapons and weapon balancing include, quote, fixed hit registration for weapons, weapon emissives, glowing parts no longer show well in match, and added capability for knives to deal damage to lights. The devs also calibrated damn near every weapon to do different damage outputs. I'll leave a link down below so you guys can read the updates. When I played the game again, I noticed maybe a slight increase in hit registration, which, hey, that's progress made, right? But until the netcode improves and we get more players, I don't know how true that actually is. Aside from a couple of other changes and hotfixes being made to the game, let's go ahead and dive into some of the comments and my feelings on the game now that I've revisited the title. The video that I released Monday about Starsiege Deadzone was re-recorded, re-scripted, got another passive edits before I even released the video that came out on Monday. So what you guys seen on Monday was the second version of that video. And I did that because I didn't give the game a chance the first time around and knew I was being too harsh. And another thing I have to say is I never once said the game is trash. I said I would not recommend the game. That's not me discrediting the dev team, that's just me saying I wouldn't recommend it. And I said I wouldn't recommend it based on my experiences that I had, and I knew some of my subscribers would probably have the same experience. With that being said, let's look at some of the comments. And regardless if you talk shit, left a positive comment, or simply told me to go back and check it out post update, I really appreciate all of the comments that you guys put on my videos. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. Alright, comment number 1. Spectre458 says it's still an alpha, give it a break, man. Plus, it seems like you've barely played the game, so you shouldn't be reviewing it as if you know how the gameplay is. Especially if you haven't unlocked a majority of the abilities. I can tell you're not that experienced with the game because you still jump around trying to dodge bullets even though jumping is... and his keyboard disconnected. This argument of, bro, it's an alpha is really fucking stupid. I have like 3 or 4 more comments that look exactly like this, so let me negate all of those off the bat by giving you a direct quote from their Steam page. When Prophecy Games was asked on Steam why early access, they said, quote, our goal for early access is to continue developing the game with our community by making the best design changes for our players. We're seeking feedback from the fans we've had from the start to make the best game possible and continue to refine balance and mechanics while also offering us the ability to experiment with additional features, end quote. Now, I haven't been a fan of this game since the beginning. I actually really didn't know anything about this game until last week. Regardless, just because I'm not a longtime fan of this title doesn't mean I want the game to fail. Now, contrary to my first video, I am legitimately wanting these guys to succeed with this project. I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but I like the vision these guys are rolling with. Now, in regards to the comment, this guy pulled 2 trap cards on me here. The mad cuz bad card and the you have no right to criticize this game card. Quick question, why would I subject myself to play hours of a game I don't find enjoyable just just to make a video on it. What is the cutoff that allows me to make a video on a game I don't like? 5 hours, 10 hours, 50 hours? This game has a very similar gameplay loop every time you load into a match. You go to the lobby, you spawn in a hatch, you explore the map, shoot people, die, or extract. Sure, the map is procedurally generated and all, but at the end of the day, I don't need to sink tens or hundreds of hours into the game in order for me to decide whether or not I enjoy it. Here's another comment from Benjamin. I think you underestimate how overpowered instant interact doors would be in gunfights for both cover and escaping quickly. You can still use them for escaping effectively because closing doors takes significantly less time than opening them. You know, this is something I didn't really think about when I first recorded the video and wrote my initial script, but this dude is spot on. I don't want the door opening mechanic to get abused by having instant opening for doors. I find it incredibly aggravating that it takes so long to open the doors though. Bump the time from 7 seconds down to like maybe 4 or 5. And while you're at it, make it to where we can look away from the door while it's opening. If you do that, I honestly think the experience will be a little bit better. What did I learn coming back to this game following its first update? Well, even though the game functions better, seems to be more approachable for new players, and some of the issues I had got ironed out, I still don't know if I can 100% recommend it based on my experiences with this game. One of the reasons why I say that is because there is currently nothing in this game that's drawing me in to keep playing besides trying to find reasons to enjoy it. This game just isn't for me, and I am more than willing to accept that fact. We can even have differing opinions in the comment section about whether or not this game is good, but the game just is not for me. If you've made it this far in the video, let me go ahead and tell you about a game that I absolutely despised at first, and then with time and proof of determined devs, I grew to actually enjoy it and support the title. That would be Operation Harsh Doorstop. If you guys don't know about Operation Harsh Doorstop, it is a free-to-play sandbox milsim shooter. Another game with the same story as OHD in my book is XDefiant. I absolutely despised XDefiant in the first beta test, and then I played the second beta test and I actually really enjoyed the game. So just because I don't like a game right now doesn't mean I'm gonna hate it indefinitely. It just means that there is nothing in the game right now that would constitute me sinking countless hours into it. And hey, that's okay. If you're one of the people out there who actually enjoys this game for what it is, more power to you. Please play this game and do not let my words affect you in any way, shape, or form. With that being said, just because I don't like this game and I have a differing opinion from you, that does not negate the fact that I can make a video on this game. If Prophecy Games happens to watch this video and they watch all the way to this point in time, guys, keep doing what you're doing, continue to develop the game, and I will reapproach it sometime in the near future. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you hit that sub button, that like button, and skill issue that notification bell for more content like this. And as always, my name is Redbeard Mortis. Speak loud, speak the truth, and I'll see you in the next one.